Hello everyone, it's the Anime here, and today we're going to be doing a new What If Deku was on Team 7, and now this is a My Hero Academia / Naruto crossover. So yeah, but before we get into it, hit the intro. So now, the beginning will be a little bit confusing of the story, but first let's start off with Deku's childhood. Now, he is born in the My Hero Academia universe, where there is quirks, and he obviously still doesn't have a quirk, so he gets bullied throughout his life, and throughout, his school life, and Bakugo still bullies him. Now, the part where he gets transported into the Naruto universe is when he is walking to school after he meets All Might, and All Might says he's gonna train him and all that. He's walking, and he sees that no one's moving. He then gets kind of confused as time seems to stop in place, and nothing seems to be moving. Then suddenly, a portal appears in front of him, almost like a black hole sucking him in. Now, throughout this timeline of portals he's going through, he sees many different universes, such as One Piece and Bleach. But the one he's being sucked towards, he sees people with these very strange abilities. One that seems like uses elements of water, fire, wind, lightning, and many other elements. And all the other ones he only gets a glimpse of, such as One Piece, as they eat fruit and they gain special abilities, and Bleach, where they seem to have these ghostly abilities almost. But then eventually he finally lands into the Narutoverse. At the beginning of the series of Naruto, when everyone's becoming a genin, now he falls through the sky, like literally falls through the sky, and lands in the Hokage's office. And now, this takes place as the Hokage is on high alert when Naruto just steals the scroll. And Deku lands in the Hokage office. And the Hokage sitting there not expecting anything to happen. He thinks this is an intruder and takes Deku down. Now, Deku is put on high alert and gets taken to prison. Not because they see him as a threat or anything, because he seems to be a pretty weak, just a 13-year-old, not even barely at the age to become a genin. But Hiruzen just puts him in jail because they don't know what land he's from, what he's doing there, or anything. So, next, Deku wakes up with Jonin around his cell. And Deku says, "Where am I?" And then the Jonin says, "You don't know where you are? You're at the Leaf Village." "The Leaf Village? What's that?" "I was in Japan." And then they look at him. "What's Japan? There's no such village named Japan." Because obviously in this timeline / world, there is no Japan. There's only like the land of fire, the land of, can't remember any of the other lands really, But and then you also got different villages, such as the village hidden in sand, and the village of the leaf, and the village hidden in the stone, stuff like that. So you have all these different villages, but there's like no countries or anything. The countries and the continents are basically like the land of fire in the Narutoverse. So the Jonin look at him saying, Japan, what's Japan? He's just like, Japan, United States, all of those different countries. And then the Jonin look at him and call the Hokage over to ask him if he knows anything about Japan. Or this place called Japan, because it must be pretty small if he's from it. And then, once the Hokage comes, she's like, Japan, never heard of it. Tell me your name, young boy. And then Izuku says, my name is Izuku Midoriya. Izuku, very fine name. What are you doing here? And then Izuku says, you might not believe this, but it's like I was transported to this place through a portal. So you see, I don't know about here, or even where I am right now, but where I was before was people had powers. Not powers like I seen here, though, because I seen a little bit of what you guys have, but they were different powers. And Hiruzen were like, I see. Can you tell me about these powers of theirs? Maybe they were just Kenkai Genkai, And then Deku says, what? Then Hiruzen says, Kenkai Genkai, such as the Sharingan, the Byakugan, and other Kenkai Genkai, such as lava release, steam release, and many others. And then Deku says, no, where I came from, we call them quirks. Quirks, Now what type of quirks were these? And then he explains basically the whole quirks. And then, so then, Hiruzen, the Hokage at the time, obviously says, never heard of nothing like these. And then Kakashi and all other Jonin that are supposed to go there to try to figure it out, along with Hiruzen. And Deku basically explains everything. And then it's weirdly, they come to the same conclusion that Deku must have been warped here from almost another universe, kind of. And they don't know how to put him back. So Hiruzen, knowing that this kid doesn't know what's happening, ask him to do a couple hand seals. Just wondering. And he does the cloning jutsu. So Hiruzen says, this means you gain the attributes of what we have here. Deku's like, what do you guys have here? And he says, chakra. Deku says, chakra? Interesting. And Hiruzen basically explains how to use chakra. And Deku says, alright. So basically, what you have to do is you have to put a bunch of hand seals together to use a specific form. And Hiruzen says, exactly. And Deku, being kind of like the studier is, asks Hiruzen, is there any like scroll, books or anything I could read to get my basis of this, so I'm not defenseless, of course. And Hiruzen gives him all the scrolls he needs from the academy, and Deku stays up all night, still in his cell, learning everything he needs to know, because he's obviously a very quick learner, and also, in this universe, he has, let's just say, a massive reserve of chakra, as big as Naruto's, let's say. Mostly because since he's not from this universe, the universe just gave him as much as chakra as he could, because they don't have any clan or anything to base off of him. He's clanless. So they gave him as much as the person they think has the most chakra in the universe. And these people, well, they're not important to the story, so right now anyways. So they gave him as much chakra as Naruto has. So he picks up everything up to the cloning jutsu, which then Hiruzen comes to check on him next morning, and he's fast asleep. He's got around 2 hours of sleep after studying all night on all of it, and Hiruzen sees that he has read each and every single scroll. So Hiruzen wakes up Deku and says, "Hey, so we have an opportunity for you. Since you obviously seem to be a trustworthy person, in many ways than one, we want you to become what we call Genin here. And you guys go on missions and complete tasks for the village to raise money." And Deku says, "Well, I guess since you guys showed slight hospitality to me, and it also my dream, because we have something like that, but instead of calling them shinobi, we call them heroes. Almost like superheroes." So Deku accepts this offer and takes the exam and actually passes with flying colors. Because unlike Naruto or anything in this universe, he can actually control his chakra pretty well, basically as well as Sakura. And he easily makes around 7 clones. And he also bumps into this kid named Naruto. And then he also bumps into all the other students, wondering where he came from. And then Hiruzen has to come in and explain every single minute detail to the kids, and basically explaining that he seems to be from a different universe. And please show him some respect, as we're gonna probably try to help him get to his own again. But for now, he will be joining you guys, becoming Genin, because he seems to have a well-rounded perspective on how everything works. And Deku introduces himself, and that's the day of the Genin exams, to see if you become Genin or not. And he passes, like I already said, and everyone's just like, this kid passed without even a day of training in the academy. He must be pretty good. So then Naruto introduced himself first, and thinking that this could be his chance to make a friend, because he doesn't know nothing, because he's obviously from a different universe. So then Deku says hi back, because of his kind nature. And then Deku and Naruto talk for a little while, around an hour after the exam. And then Deku brings up the point, like, you didn't pass? And and Naruto looks at him, saying, "No, I didn't pass. But there is another way I heard from this guy. He said if I take a scroll from the Hokage's office and learn a jutsu from it, I can become a Genin." He says, "Really? Sounds interesting. I'm always down for a challenge. Can I join?" And then Deku and Naruto go and take the scroll. Now, in this, it's actually a way more higher lit tension in the village, because they just saw this kid thinking he is nice, and he is. Deku has no hostile threat to the village. Take the scroll with Naruto. Now they think that Deku tricked Naruto into taking the scroll, thinking Deku was from an enemy village, and that this could be an act of war if they don't find him soon. Knowing that Deku has, Naruto has the Nine-Tailed Fox within inside of him, and Deku can be from an enemy village. But then Hiruzen looks through his globe, saying that, this kid just got tricked just like as Naruto did from him. So now both Naruto and Deku both learn the Shadow Clone Jutsu because they both have the same massive chakra reserve, making it easy to learn the Shadow Clone Jutsu. And then Iruka shows up and says, "Both of you to the Hokage's office now." And then they go to the Hokage's office with no confrontation from the guy obviously trying to get the scroll in the first place. So now they go to the Hokage's office, and Huzin says to them, "So you guys been tricked into stealing the scroll, correct?" And both of them nod. Just don't let it happen again, especially with you, newcomer Izuku Midoriya. And then this is where I'm gonna end it off. So if you guys enjoyed, leave a like, and now, see enemy logging off.